Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony is about to begin. May I advise that you are very welcome to take photographs, but could you please stay in your seats while you are doing it? The ceremony, which is about to begin, is one of the most solemn events in the academic life of the University of Bologna. This is the first time that the Magna Charta Universitatum 2020 will be signed in person. The ceremony will culminate with the signing of, or the accession of 58 universities. The Magna Charta Universitatum, first signed in 1988 by 388 rectors of universities, gathered in Bologna for the 9th century of the alma mater, reflects the fundamental values of the university tradition and promote the reinforcement of links between the universities. In 2020, the document was revised to reflect the changes in society. The academic processions will now enter the hall, led by the Senate and the Board of Governors of the University of Bologna. The vice-rectors and presidents of the campuses will now enter the hall. The rectors and the senior representatives of the signatory universities will now enter the hall. The rectoral procession is led by the magnificent rector of the University of Bologna, Giovanni Maleri, and by the president of the Governing Council of the Magna Charta Observatory, Patrick Dean. Please be seated. The magnificent rector, Giovanni Maleri, will now address the gathering.
Dear all, dear rectors and colleagues, dear students and guests, I'm very glad and deeply honored to welcome you at the University of Bologna for the anniversary of the Magna Charta Universitatum and the signing of the new version. From next year, the celebrations of the anniversary will restart being hosted in different countries around the world to strengthen the community of the Magna Charta and disseminate its core messages. I am particularly happy it is now taking place in Bologna, towards the end of my first year as a rector of the University of Bologna, whose mandate started in November 2021. We have convened here after few years in which the pandemic has focused us to interact only at a distance. I am thus very pleased to restart the celebration of the Magna Charta in person, as a small sign of the strong desire to collaborate and interact, a desire that the pandemic has by no means diminished. We are all aware that the values that we all share and that the Magna Charta represents are the backbone of our communities, especially in turbulent times. The pandemic itself and its consequences, ongoing conflicts and mutation in international equilibria, climate change, scarcity of natural resources, migrations, and some of the main challenges that universities are called to address. They need to do so with the awareness of the importance of their role and the responsibilities which come within it. First and foremost, academic communities are constantly engaged in the production and dissemination of scientific knowledge. Progress in understanding our planet and lives and promotion of culture are the key goals universities pursue. They do so in a global scenario and for the common good, reaching out to societies, both locally and globally. Universities enhance freedom. Scientific knowledge and culture provide the key toolboxes to understand reality and, as a consequence, to act responsibility on it. Reciprocally, freedom enhances university, and therefore, as stated in the Magna Charta, freedom is in research and training is the fundamental principle of university life, and governments and universities, each as far as in them lies, must ensure respect for this fundamental requirement. Universities are by no means the sole producer of knowledge, but they surely play an essential part in sharing and disseminating it for the benefit of societies as wholes. Acting independently and super partes, universities are committed to ensure that scientific knowledge is on one hand collectively transferred into progress for each and everybody, and on the other hand, individually taken to orient one's own aspirations and guide responsible decisions. The values the Magna Charta stresses and the social engagement it recommends are to be embraced in taking changes whose dimensions are global. To play a leading role in addressing challenges related to climate, sustainability, technological progress, and contribute to establishing priorities for action, universities need to be far-sighted, inclusive, and sensitive to inter- and transcultural issues. The leadership of universities is played in an eminent way through education, providing excellent courses in a variety of disciplines and topics. The responsibility universities have for society at large is manifested through accessible, sustainable, and innovative teaching programs. Through education, boundaries are crossed between generations, countries and cultures, cooperative relationships, and strengthened between a wide range of partners, and global citizenship is constructed piecemeal. The inspiring and innovating role universities shall play through research, education, and relations with the social actors in public and private, local and international contexts, leads them to pay special attention to frailty and crisis. Living in turbulent times, as the title of this anniversary recalls, requires to engage into extra efforts and to creatively envisage new options. Universities' service to society needs to design transformative solutions whenever and wherever human rights and freedom are at risk. Active dialogue and welcoming attitude nurture international relations and transnational collaborations, making universities actual hubs for the construction of tolerance, pluralism, and peace. As one of the fundamental principles of the Magna Charta states, universities is the trustee of the European humanities traditions. Its constant care is to attain universal knowledge, to fulfill its vocation, is transcends geographical and political frontiers, and affirm the vital need for different cultures to know and influence each other. In turbulent times, as those we are currently living in, inclusion of students and promotion of free inquiry foster mutual understanding and fruitful interaction in shaping forward-looking visions. As the Magna Charta states, intellectual and moral autonomy is the hallmark of any university and a precondition for the fulfillment of its responsibilities to society. In highlighting how we are all here to confirm our sense of responsibility and the willingness to be faithful to our living values, I would like to thank all the institutions, the network promoting the Magna Charta Universitatum. Over and above the present celebration, we are gathered here to remark how academic communities, students, scholars, and staff shall jointly work to realize individual and social potential everywhere, and be committed to the preservation of a planet and promoting health, prosperity, and enlightenment around all the world. Thank you very much, and have a good day.
There will now be an address by Stefania Giannini, Assistant Director General for Education at UNESCO and formerly Minister of Higher Education, Universities and Research in Italy.
Dear Rector Molari, dear Rectors, first of all, warm congratulations on this anniversary of the Magna Charta Universitatum. It's a real pleasure for me to address this annual event that gathers an international community of universities united around the same shared values. The theme of today's anniversary even goes to the heart of the challenges facing university and the entire society today. University actually hold a strategic position in society. We all agree about that. But are they fully oriented towards charting a more sustainable and inclusive course for the future? This is the main question we have to put on the table. What will it take for them to adapt to our troubled times once their peace is increasingly fragile, where climate change is wreaking havoc, where the digital revolution challenges the very notion of our humanity? This May, in Barcelona, as many of you know, and thanks for also supporting this event, UNESCO organized the third World Conference on Higher Education, precisely around these vital, vibrant questions. We opened the doors wide, gathering some 2,000 stakeholders from 140 countries. And the conference sparked a global conversation on charting a new vision, a new approach for tertiary education in the decade ahead, one that takes on board both pressure to democratize access and to geo-learning to the interconnected challenges of sustainable development. Today, I'd like to share with you a few highlights of a roadmap that was presented at the conference and actually share and agree with by all the participants. It's a kind of living document, nourished by intensive research, extensive work on the topics and wide consultation. Entitled Beyond Limits, it sets out 6 critical transitions to reimagine higher education for a more sustainable, more equitable and just future. Our first responsibility is to every learner, and especially to young generations, it's to fulfill the right to education and to consider that higher education is part of this right and the public good, and not something in addition or a kind of luxury at the end of the process of secondary. Second point, the roadmap recommends moving towards more holistic student learning experiences that can foster democratic values and civic engagement and are not solely focused on professional training. More than ever, society needs this kind of approach. Thirdly, to respond to the complexity of current times, study programs need to transition from disciplinary silos to inter- and transdisciplinary models, encouraging open access to science and knowledge. I'm sure all of you agree on these basic points. Fourth dimension, it's about responding to rapid change and the need to reskill. Throughout life, higher education should transition towards a more lifelong learning model, which means a kind of internal process of readjustment, reorganizing the way university provide on their own training and courses. Fifth point, there is no one size fits all. Institutions today need to enlarge educational opportunities for youth and wider recognition mechanisms. Finally, really the last but not the least, in my opinion, pedagogical practices must be renewed and technology put at the service of enriching learning experiences, teaching and research, and putting technology at the center of a humanized and human-oriented approach. This also carries an ethical dimension for which UNESCO, as you know, is providing common ground, notably in the applications of artificial intelligence. Well, to sum up, this is a vision that requires actually a brave approach, a shift in mindsets and policies to favor cooperation over competition, to favor diversity over uniformity, to favor flexible learning pathways over traditionally structured ones, and most importantly, to open the system, openness over more existing and traditional viewpoints. I see then the Magna Carta as a powerful community to open up higher education to society, to nurture civic engagement, and to better connect research and policy for the common good. Happy anniversary. Buon anniversario.
The magnificent rector, Giovanni Moleri, and the president of the Governing Council of the Magna Carta Observatory, Patrick Dean, will now welcome the signatories of the Magna Carta Universitatum. Just wait for that to go up. Stand there on the desk. Yeah, this seems crazy to me. They're coming up here to sign. I call the rectors or the senior representatives of the following universities to sign the Magna Carta Universitatum: Epoca University, University Ismail Quemeli Vlor, Leopold Franzen Universität Innsbruck, Azerbaijan Medical University, the Pontifical University of Sao Paulo, Universidad Estatal de Campino, Unicamp, Concordia University of Edmonton, University of St. Joseph, and Universidad Antonio Nariño. the University of Cordoba, University of Rijeka, the British University in Egypt, Tallinn University, the University of Grenoble Alpes, the University of Clement Orisky, St. Cyril and Methodius University, the University of Tetova, the University of Greenland, and Budapest University of Technology and Economics. University of Kufa, Technological University Dublin, University College Cork, Université Deleghe Studio di Milano, Université Deleghe Studio di Murno a Reggio Emilia, Université del Piemont Oriental, Middle East University, University for Business and Technology, UBT, the Riga Technical University, Michaelas Ramirez University. MF Norwegian School of Theology, Religion and Society, Nord University, Adam Mickiewicz University, Medical University of Warsaw, University of Lodz, Wrocław Medical University, Wrocław University of Science and Technology, WSB University, Université Spiritu Hare, West University of Timisoara. J. Selle University, Pavel Joseph Savarik University in Kosice, University of Veterinary Medicine and Pharmacy in Kosice, Alma Mater Europa, ECM, Universidad de Oviedo, Jönköping University, Karolinska Institute, Lula University of Technology, Malmö University, and Stockholm University. European University of Lefke, TED University, Yedebke University, Alfred Nobel University, Vasilistus Donetsk National University, Lesa Ukrainia Volyn National University, Sumy National Agrarian University, University of St Andrews, and University of the West of Scotland. In the name of the new signatories, Professor Hanna Soldheim Hansen, Rector of Nord University, Norway, will now address the gathering.
Thank you so much. It is a great honor to speak on behalf of the rectors just signing the declaration during this magnificent ceremony here today. I would like to start by saying thank you to the Magna Charta Observatory for guarding and managing the declaration. That includes reminding us all, both the universities and the societies, of the principles, the values, and the responsibilities we have towards contributing to a better world. I would also like to express my appreciation of the observatory's efforts to keep the principles and values updated and in accordance with the development of the society and the universities of the world. Academic freedom cannot be taken for granted. Not even today. Academic freedom, freedom of speech, and fact-based decisions and discussions are a threat to the people of power in authoritarian societies. Democracies, freedom of speech, and academic freedom are related, and each of those values can hardly stand alone. All of us signing the declaration today have promised to strengthen the role of each university in preserving the planet, promoting health and enlightenment for the people. How can we spread enlightenment without speaking facts? How can we preserve the planet without listening and acting on facts? Yet, it is not a given that such facts are available to everybody. That's why it is so important that we are here today. We are here to demonstrate our devotion to academic freedom, to demonstrate that we have united our efforts and we can change the world if we stand together. And we need to stand together to save the planet. The unique aspects of universities is the combined responsibilities of research and education. The combination of research and education is beneficial, first of all, because the student will be met by teachers involved in research with access to state-of-the-art knowledge within their specific area. Secondly, students can be involved in the co-creation of research and new knowledge. We need the perspectives of young people in our research in order to make sure we have a holistic approach in our work. The students want to be included. For example, during our last revision of the strategy for Nord University, the students had one very serious challenge to us. They wanted to be included in research from the very first day of the university. We were surprised. We had expected a much more mundane request reflecting some of the aspects of everyday student life. But no, the students want to be included in research. That is a proper challenge, and we're not there yet. But I'm very proud that the students experience research so motivating and beneficial for them also. Today, we have agreed to keep working for the universities to be a place for diversity and open to dialogue. In order to fight intolerance, we have to emphasize respect as a fundamental value in academia. We need to work more on mutual respect for each other, no matter who we are. In the university, part of the task is to develop new knowledge using accepted research methods built on systematic and thorough analysis. In order to do this, we need to ask the right questions, and keep an open mind, both to questions and input from colleagues and students. Doing that, we perform the most comprehensive research. And in order to do such tasks in a good way, we as academics need to have respect for one another. Without respect, we neither listen nor seriously consider the input and questions of other people. I would like to use a few minutes to address the well-being of our students. Many of the students enrolled at our universities this year have had 2 years with very limited social experience. In addition to that, our societies seem to be moving away from actual events and physical gatherings to using more time on social media. Social media can be social, yes, but we do not improve our interpersonal skills using social media. At our university, we see some students lacking interpersonal skills now. We also see too many unhappy students, some of whom are suffering mentally. A recent national survey from Norway showed that 35% of the students answered that they suffer from serious mental issues ranging from loneliness to serious depression. This is not unique for students, but it mirrors the situation for young adults in Norway. Most universities take it for granted that students find their own way and stay happy, all by themselves. After the pandemic, however, we need to support the students so they learn both their subjects and the social skills needed to have a good time as a student. A happy student excels and may reach their human potential, whereas an unhappy student is not likely to do so. We, as leaders of the universities, need to address the well-being of the gold of our societies, the student. Finally, I would like to say thank you to the Magna Charta Observatory for 3 fantastic days here. And I wish all the university leaders good luck with the important work you're doing to strengthen the role of the universities in the preservation of the planet, promoting health, prosperity, and enlightenment around the world. Thank you very much.
Patrick Dean, President of the Governing Council of the Magna Charta Observatory, will now address the gathering.
Thank you very much. At the end of such a magnificent ceremony, and after those inspiring words from the rector of Nord University, I don't have much to add. I do, though, want to thank Rector Molari very much and the University of Bologna, not only for hosting this event so splendidly today, but for their ongoing support of the work of the Magna Charta Observatory, which is so crucial to universities around the world. I also want to offer warmest congratulations to our signatories. As the last 2 days have confirmed, the challenges that face higher education around the world are considerable, but we are strengthened in our work, not only by a sense of unity amongst all of us engaged in this work, but also by our determination to uphold the values of the Academy, and also by a powerful belief in the crucial importance and the nobility of our mission. To our new signatories, I say we look forward, here speaking on behalf of the Observatory, to engaging with you in the work of the Observatory in the months and years to come. We have an exciting strategy for the Observatory and for all of our signatories, and we will enjoy working with you in the prosecution of that strategy. I want to end with the final words of Magna Charta 2020. By signing the Magna Charta Universitatum 2020, universities declare their commitment to the original declaration and to upholding and advancing the principles, values, and responsibilities as laid out in the document, to strengthen the role of universities in promoting health, prosperity, and enlightenment around the world. It is, as I said, a very noble mission. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony is now drawing to its conclusion. We kindly ask those of you who are able to stand as the academic processions leave the hall. Please. The signatory universities are kindly asked to follow the Master of Ceremonies for an official photograph to be taken. The rectors and their senior representatives of the signatory universities will now leave the hall. Vice rectors and presidents of the campuses will now leave the hall. The Senate and the Board of Governors of the University of Bologna will now leave the hall. Our ceremony has now ended. We thank the Collegium Musicum Alma Matris of the University of Bologna. We thank you for coming, and through the generosity of our speaker yesterday, Ron Daniels, there is a copy of his book for each one of you on the table outside as you leave. Thank you very much.